Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly Edwards on behalf of KeepingChickensNewsletter.com, and today I'm going to bake you an old recipe for an Easter cake. Doesn't that sound exciting? It's spring is in the air and it's time to bake Easter cake. So I'm going to get started, okay? Back here on my stove, I'm going to turn it on to a medium heat, okay? I'm putting a half a cup of just plain old water in this cup. And I'm going to measure in 1.5 cups of just plain sugar, okay? 1.5 cups. There we go. Now I'm going to stir this and I'm going to allow it to come to a boil. And I want it to reach a certain consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tines of a fork to test and see if I can get threads to come out. Okay, and that's when you know it's done and you turn it off. So right now, I just have that on medium heat. I'm going to stir it up a little bit, and we're going to let that all come together. Now that's not a lot of water compared to the sugar. There's a ton of sugar in here. So just let it go low and slow, and make sure that everything gets nice and dissolved, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to do, this recipe calls for quite a bit of eggs. It calls for 6 eggs. Now it's best to beat your eggs if they are room temperature. So I actually forgot to take them out of the fridge, and that's okay, that works, it's fine. But what you have to do is, or what better way to do it is, put your eggs, I just put them in a pot. I didn't boil them, don't get scared everybody. Put them in here and just put some warm water on them. Let them sit for about 5-10 minutes and it should come to nice room temperature. And that's exactly what I've got going on. So what I want to do is I want to separate the eggs from the whites, okay? 6 of them. I don't have to show you all of them. I'm going to show you a couple of them. Okay, maybe 2. We'll go from there. So I've got, you see I have 3 bowls. Okay, and my eggs are going everywhere. In the middle bowl, I'm going to crack the egg. And this ensures that I'm not contaminating either other bowl. Got me? No shells are going to fall in. No extra egg yolk is falling in when it's not supposed to. Everything is isolated in one tiny bowl. If I have a problem, it's only in here. And then once everything is all fine and dandy, then I separate them into their respective bowls. Got me? So what you're going to do is you're going to use the whites and you're going to beat them stiffly. You're going to make that be the air of your cake. And then the yolks are going to be also used, but in a different way. They have to be separated. So this is what we're going to do. Here we go. Crack it. My favorite way to do it is just with your hands. And I just put it into my hand and allow the whites to run right through my fingers. Just slightly open them and let it run through. The yolk goes in here. As you can see, as you can't see, but I can see, there's no shell in here and there's no yolk in here. So that's a pure white right there. It's all good. Okay, we're gonna do one more. There's lots of different ways to do this. You could even use, I've actually shown you on my show how to separate yolks from the whites by using a plastic water bottle, and that works good too if you feel comfortable with that. Now if you're worried about this and you don't want it to break, just be very gentle, move it from hand to hand. Sometimes the white sticks to that yolk pretty good. Alright, so once you're feeling comfortable with that, you got all the white and just the yolk, done. So I'm going to finish these and then we'll come right back. Okay, so now I have 2 beautiful bowls. One has 6 egg yolks, one has the 6 egg whites. Got me? Perfect. Now I'm going to use this great big mixer so that I can stiffly beat these egg whites. And that was the whole point of why we have them room temperature, right? So you're going to put them into this mixer. Put them in the bowl. Then I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to let it go on maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 until everything stops kind of splashing everywhere. And then I'm going to zip it on high. I'm going to let that thing go on high until the egg whites form stiff peaks. They're not dry, completely dry, like falling apart and crumbling. But they're stiff peaks when you pull something out of it, or like this beater here, the whisk beater. You're going to use that whisk attachment as well. So it looks like this. Let me show you. It's the whisk attachment. So if you pull that out and it forms a nice stiff peak, meaning those egg whites stay there stiff and hold that form, you're good to go. So up it goes. Alright, so this is going to take a while. In the meantime, I am going to show you the egg yolks. Now pour them into a bigger bowl, just so that you can get at them a little bit better. Grab yourself a whisk. Now I want these beaten as well. These are going to be nicely well beaten. But what you want to do is you want to use a whisk, and you're going to try and get them to a nice pale yellow color. Like right now they're that nice egg yolky color, but you're going to try and beat them enough so that it gets a nice pale color. And that's what I'm going to be doing for a minute, and I'll come back in a second when that's pale and my egg whites are getting stiff. Alright guys? Okay, so my egg yolks now are nice and pale yellow. I've frothed them up with the whisk. My egg whites are all stiff. I'm still waiting for my sugar and water mix to be able to come out like threads on the tine of a fork. We're almost there. Almost there, and that's going to go in there next. But right now, I'm going to add some vanilla extract to my egg yolks and mix that in. So in that goes 1 teaspoon. And let's stir that in. Just to make sure it's evenly distributed. Beautiful. So that's going to go off to the side right here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sift my flour and some cream of tartar. Now cream of tartar actually stabilizes your egg whites, and this particular recipe, I was surprised didn't actually ask for the cream of tartar in the egg whites, but instead we're putting it in the flour. So there you go. That's what you do today. That's what we're doing. So I'm using 1 cup of flour, and I'm going to sift it. Use a colander or a strainer. And 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Now this just ensures, sifting makes sure that it's light and airy, everything's nice and uniform, and there's no chunks or miscellaneous things that shouldn't be in there from transport or packaging or anything like that. 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Alright, so in order to sift, you're just going to take that in a bowl and you're going to gently just shake it and hit your palm until it all goes through. And if you have any balls that are left there that are just flour, just push them right on through and you're good to go. So now I'm ready. I'm just waiting for my sugar water mixture to come out and tie threads like on the tine of your fork. And then we're ready to slowly pour that in, get everything mixed up, and throw it in the oven. I'm going to preheat my oven. It calls for a slow oven. Now this is an old term, slow oven, and when I looked it up, it says that it's about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what we're going to put it in, a slow oven, which is 300 degrees. I'm preheating my oven right this minute. We'll be right back. Alright everybody, so I'm back now. My sugar water has come to the point where it is threading from a fork, the tines of a fork, and it looks good. So we're going to pour it in slowly, slowly. It's super hot, and I don't want to make scrambled egg whites. So I'm going to put it on the slowest mixing. Oh wait, I don't even have it up yet. Hold on. Let's bring it back up. It's on the slowest, it's on the stir. And I'm going to slowly pour this in a fine stream and allow this to completely mix in. This is first. So you don't need to watch me do the entire thing. I have quite a bit here and I'm doing it extremely slowly. So I'll be right back to you as soon as I'm done this. So now all of my sugar and water are in there. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I want this to beat until it's cool. So the egg whites just got cooked basically with that warm sugar water, right? But I need it to cool because if I add these egg yolks with the vanilla in now, it's surely going to be scrambled eggs, and that's not what we're looking for is a scrambled egg cake. That's not right. So I need to let this go. This might take a while, and it's got to go until it cools. Okay, so we're going to allow it to do that, and we'll be back again. Okay, so this has been going for a little while. The real benefit of using one of these stainless steel bowls is that it conducts the heat out of it faster if you want something to cool. And it's really easy to determine if it has cooled down. I'm just touching the bottom of the bowl and it's cool enough. Now you don't need it like cold, you don't need it like anything like that. You just don't want it to cook these egg yolks. Got me? So this is cool enough to go. Now this mixture, the sugar water made it like candy. It's like all glossy and shiny like a great big fluffy cloud in here. It's so tasty. I could just eat the whole bowl like this myself and just say, forget it, I'm going to my room right now with my spatula and eat. Really? That's the kind of stuff I like to eat. Anyways, let's finish off this recipe. I'm gonna pour in these egg yolks and we're gonna stir those in slowly. You want everything to be evenly combined. Don't forget, this has your vanilla extract in here as well. Now, try and use real vanilla extract, please. Don't use the fake vanilla extract, the artificial, because it is not actually vanilla. Obviously, it's artificial. But it is made, it's a byproduct of making paper. It's from vanillin, a chemical called vanillin. Now, it looks like it smells like it tastes like it, all that good stuff. But it's not vanilla, and it's bad for you. In fact, I believe it's cancer-causing. But don't quote me on that. You know, everything's cancer-causing these days, isn't it? So in goes all that. And I'm going to turn up the speed of the mixer just to get this all mixed in properly. You don't want to overdo it either, you just want it to mix through. And that looks good. Okay. Now, don't forget, we've got this flour and cream of tartar mixture that's right here. But instead of putting it inside of here, I'm going to fold it in. Okay, usually when you're doing delicate cakes such as this, like an angel cake or something, you want to fold in that flour. You don't even need to completely make sure that it's all incorporated. You just don't want chunks. You want it to be evenly combined, but it doesn't have to be overdone, right? So this is what this looks like right now. Check this out. So nice and pretty and tastes delicious. Okay. So let's try and get everything out of here so we don't waste any of this deliciousness. Don't forget to make sure that your oven is on. I have 300 degrees. That's quote-unquote a slow oven. That's what we're going to go with. And I guess if it takes longer, it takes longer. And you just, you know, you let it bake longer on that lower temperature. Now, if you turn it up too high and you overestimate it, that's a bigger problem, right? At least you can fix it if it's underbaked. You can't fix something that's overbaked and burnt, right? Okay, so I'm making a valiant effort to get everything out of here. And that's all I'm gonna do.
Save that, I want that.
I am, I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay, Mom says she wants it. You hear that? All right. So I've got this flour, and I'm gonna put sprinkle just over top of it, maybe half of it or so. I'm gonna use my spatula, and I'm not going to stir. I'm folding. That's all I'm doing is folding. I want this to be as light and fluffy as I can. In fact, if you wanted to be extra snazzy and fancy, which is exactly the thing that my mom would do for sure, she would sift the flour again on top of this mixture and then fold it in because she'd want it extra, super duper light and fluffy, and Mom just does stuff like that. I'm usually in a rush and I have to cut corners a little bit, but hey, it's all good. So that's nice. That's good. It's just incorporated. I'm going to put the rest in. Lovely. Now, you don't have to completely mix it in again. But you don't want, like, just random flour just everywhere either, right? Just fold that in. Be gentle. All those beautiful air bubbles that you just created when your egg, you don't want to lose them by wrecking it. Now, couple more stirs. Makes me nervous because I don't want all those bubbles to go away. Okay, so just finishing it up. You didn't need to watch all that. Here we go. And I'm almost there. I have a little bit of flour I can see, but I'm not going to stress on it. I'm not going to overmix it. It's just unnecessary. So the reason you use an ungreased pan is mostly because you want what is baking to climb up onto those walls of that baking dish, right? And that's what helps things rise more. So that's the purpose here. We're not going to grease it. We don't need to. So into the pan goes all this beautiful, fluffy, cloud-like batter. I want to call it cake batter, but it's like a cloud. I don't even know if I can call it a batter. All right. Beautiful. Now get it all in. It's almost like a meringue. It's like a super fluffy batter. And I'm going to have to tap this down in this pan a little bit. What I might do is just drop it on the counter, move it around a little bit, make sure that some of those air pockets are out. Otherwise, you're going to get a cake that's gonna rise. It's gonna look pretty. It's gonna bake all lovely and stuff. And then it's gonna collapse on you in those spots where you have a whole bunch of holes. And that's not cool, is it? Not cool at all. So this is a whole lot. It looks like a whole lot right here, but we're going to relax. We're not going to stress out because it's mostly air. And I'm just going to push this down into this pan nicely, gently, and roll with it that way. All right. This is super cool. My mom is really excited about this cake today, I have to say. This is right up her alley, this kind of cake. It does look beautiful, and I don't know what to do with all this excess cloud-like stuff, but we're gonna rock with it. Wait, we're gonna just go with it. Okay, this is beautiful. I guess it doesn't really need to climb up the sides of the pan. It's just gorgeous as it is. Now I'm gonna make it nice and even as I can. Lovely. Just want to make it pretty. Beautiful. Awesome. I'm blocking you. You didn't even see anything I just did. My goodness. So I just went like this, and I just made it nice and even as I can. Got me? This is going to be my dessert. All right, okay, so this looks so gorgeous. Look at this. It's all ready to go, and I'm putting it in just like that, all belligerent, like over top of the pan and everything. Whatever. We're going to see how beautiful it looks. So into this oven, it's going to go for 40 or 50 minutes. I'm going to check on this sucker in about 35 just to make sure. I'm keeping it on that 300 degrees, nice and low, slow oven, to make sure that this isn't going to burn. Now, it's got eggs and all kinds of sugar. It's going to be prone to burning at a high temperature, so don't do that. Leave it low and slow. In it goes. Okay, so we actually had it in for 55 minutes until it was much more firm. Now, it's not all the way firm. It's a little bit tender in the middle, but it's going to firm up as it cools. Now, I need this to completely cool. My cake has overgrown the sides, and that's okay. You're just going to cut around the edges, and then you're going to just run your knife along the inside. Now, typically, I would invert this. I'm not sure. I can't really do that right now, so I'm just going to allow it to really, really cool, and we're just going to deal with it that way. You could also put this in an angel food tin or pan, or a bundt pan, and I think that would be beautiful as well, because we had a lot of batter, and it would do very well in there. I think I might even grease the pan too in a bundt pan, just to make sure it slides out easy. It's also easy to invert with an angel food pan or a bundt pan, so that's also an option, so just bear that in mind. So we'll be back when this cools down. Now, I'm not going to ice it. You can ice it if you want to. I suggest if you ice it, maybe you can even do like nice light whipped cream cheese frosting, but just a little bit sweet, because this cake is particularly sweet. It has quite a bit of sugar and just egg whites, not a lot of flour or anything. It's very light and fluffy. It's almost like sponge toffee meets tres leches cake, but very fluffy like that. It's so interesting. It's so delicious. Man, this is a great cake. Definitely going to make this many, many more times. So sit tight, and we'll tell you how it tastes in a minute. Okay, I'm back, and here's our cake. It's been cooled. We just sliced the edges around the pan. It was the overflow. And it was tasty and delicious. We ate all those little bits. They were so yummy. And then we flipped it upside down. We inverted it and allowed it to cool. And then we gently removed it from the pan. And here it is. It's so gorgeous. Now, you can ice this. I don't think it's necessary to ice it. But what I am going to do to make it just look extra pretty on my plate is I'm going to slice a slice of this. There we go. Onto my plate it goes. It almost feels like a cross between maybe angel food cake and meringue. That's kind of how it feels. And I'm gonna just sprinkle some icing sugar over top of the piece of cake. It's going to be lovely and delicious. And you can do this before you serve everybody's. You can serve it with a little coulis. You can serve it with jam on the side. You can serve it with a caramel sauce. You can... Come on, sky's the limit. What would be beautiful is if you could serve it with some nice fresh fruit. I think that would be perfect. Now let's taste this. Mom, would you like to try this?
Well, you go ahead.
Okay.
I don't look pretty.
Mmm.
Oh, it looks good, honey.
Mmm. That's tasty. It's moist. It's light. Again, it almost tastes like tres leches cake to me. It really does, but in a much lighter version. Now, don't get me wrong, it's very sweet, and it's kind of a rich cake, but it's very enjoyable. I love it. It's perfect for Easter. I think this is great for Easter. Anyways, I hope you guys try this out. That's it. That's all. This is Kimberly Edwards for KeepingChickensNewsletter.com, and that's how you make an Easter cake. Now that I ate some of it, delicious. All right, eat deliciously. Bye.